You backed his car into a pole. To me, it seems straightforward.
Right.
But what were you doing when you were driving?
I was taking his dog back from the beach.
Ah, there's the rub. She was driving your car in the service of your business. So why should she be liable?
I have gaps in my insurance. I have a deductible of $2,000, and I don't carry rental reimbursement, so there's a gap. And in addition, my insurance company, Geico, sent me a letter stating that my claim was denied because I was not the driver.
Geico's not going to pay him, and I want to go back to something I heard you say to Judge Corriero.
Okay.
At the time you were driving his car, were you insured?
No, but...
Did you ever tell him that?
No, I wasn't
That's
aware,
outrageous.
though.
You could have exposed him to so much liability. What if you had seriously injured somebody? So the fact that you're starting to say to me, I didn't realize I wasn't insured, that just makes you irresponsible and a lawbreaker. Do you understand?
Yes. In the state of California, the insurance follows the car, not the driver.
Apparently not, because he says Geico denied him because he wasn't the driver.
Exhibit D, ma'am.
Based on what you've told us, it's a collision claim, and it appears the driver of your vehicle is at fault. You have a deductible. She's right. They didn't say they're not covering it. But the plaintiff, even though what he said about being denied is inaccurate, according to you, he should take a $2,000 hit and a long-term increase in his premium because you were driving with no insurance. Does that sound like a reasonable proposition?
No. Originally, I planned on paying him, and we wanted to try and repair the car and do it not through insurance. We've had incidents like this before in my family. My dad's really good at cars.
Yeah, I saw that. Your dad was going to repair it, but he didn't have to take your father's work. He's entitled to have his car repaired to his satisfaction. I'm good on that issue. But sir, let's talk very briefly about this ear infection. Every time something horrible happens, that does not necessarily give rise to legal liability. I mean, maybe he got an ear infection, as he's prone to do.
So as long as the dog isn't injured or dies, then that would be the base.
Who said that?
No, I'm just saying, I'm wondering where the standard of liability or culpability begins, and is it at, major injury?
No, what I'm looking for is evidence. Let's say, for instance, if she said, I took the dog to the beach every day and he was dripping wet all night. And then I met my friends over to get a beer. Like, that's breaching a duty of care. There's evidence that she was trying, right? Like you just said to yourself, I should have done better. I tried to dry his ears. I apparently didn't do it well enough. I don't know that that meets that standard.
In your position, knowing that the dog has a predilection to ear infections, why wouldn't you just tell someone, don't let her go in the water, she has a tendency to get ear infections?
Tendency to get ear infections, I think, is an exaggeration. She has had one ear infection, and it's because as a new dog owner, I was unfamiliar with Labrador's susceptibility to ear infections, or floppy-eared dog. And so I learned the hard way by not drying them out as aggressively as I should have.
But let me ask you this. If it took you that research and it's your dog, then it might have been in your best interest to reveal that. It's almost like you assume the risk, like an assumption of the risk that this could happen if the cleaning was not precisely the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to put the ear issue aside. Going back to the car, how could you not know you're not insured?
I've been sharing a car with my parents because I just moved back to America from overseas, so I didn't have a car for a while. And there was a miscommunication when I was getting my health insurance, my driver's license, all those kinds of things. I was supposed to go under their policy because I wasn't able to get car insurance because I don't own a car. It's not possible.
So, because the thing is, I don't think there's any way we can compel him to take on an obligation, for instance, pay for the damages, and say to him, you have to do this, because he's then going to say, well, who's going to cover my increased rates over the next 5 years until they say, okay, it's 5 years since an accident and now you don't have to pay that. What did you hit?
A pole.
Coming out of the driveway?